Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Della Cruz. My first guest founded a not-for-profit in Union County. Candace Waller is also an author. She published one book called What Goes Around Comes Around. Right now, she's working on a sequel. Candace is also the coordinator of the Why We Dance program in Union County. They are celebrating their 10th anniversary.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, and 8, and breath. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Make 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. Run left. Good. That run has to be quick.
Hit, hit. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Of the universe, what can't you do? Jump. What can't you do? Jump. Pivot, turn, pivot, turn. Around, right. Okay?
That is one fun dance class. Everybody having a good time? Candace is joining me here in studio with her cousin, Sahir Hendry, who's also a dancer, and welcome to both of you.
Thank you so much for having us.
I'm so excited. What motivated you to start this program?
What motivated me was Michelle Obama when she started her Let's Move program and healthy eating, and I noticed that the schools weren't having gym classes and a lot of the kids were inactive, so I had taken dance classes as a child, so I said, why don't I start a little dance group?
And dance is great exercise.
It's great
exercise. You don't feel like you are exercising.
No, and most kids can do it, and the only problem I have is finding appropriate music, because that can be an issue sometimes, but you know, basically I just brought together kids to dance.
Now, when you say appropriate music, what are you looking for?
Well, some of the music is a little bit profane sometimes, so
you
we
want
to have clean versions, but also I want to appeal to kids. So that sometimes can be the only kind of difficulty, and also their movement. I have to monitor that as well.
Now, Sahir, you come to a lot of the classes. What styles do you like, and what music can you get to help her out? Or what do you like?
I like hip hop, and we tried to, like, at one of the practices at the end, we tried a little, like, break dancing.
Really?
Yes.
As in spinning on your head and back and that sort of thing?
Yeah.
You can do that?
Well, a little bit.
A little bit?
Yes.
Is it scary?
Yes.
Okay.
He was great. He really was doing a good job with it. He was out there. I felt that, you know, sometimes I think he's kind of quiet, but he was out there dancing and having a good time, right?
Do you like dancing solo or with groups or a little of both?
Little of both.
He had a show and tell spot, right? You were doing your little show and tell. You know, like the Soul Train line?
Yeah.
They
actually still do a Soul Train line?
It's kind of been updated, right? It's an updated version of it.
Now, what is your updated version like? I want to see that. It sounds like a lot of fun. You have to have a lot of people, right?
Yes.
And what do you all do? Do you get in a line or a circle, or?
Well, we just really dance around.
You just dance around.
And they get in a circle and they come in the middle.
So
that's the updated Soul Train version.
That is so cool. What do you credit for the success of your program, Why We Dance?
Well, my uncle was so helpful and supportive. He was also a community activist, and he did a lot of programs. My uncle Eddie Abdul Hackett, he did the fishing club, he had books. So he helped with, you know, he'd bring kids to the bookstore, told them about their history. So he really was my biggest individual contributor, and he was a mentor. So he really helped me, guided me over the years to get me to that point. And also I was able to get grant funding because I'm a good writer, and I wrote to different businesses, and I got money from that way and products. So that's how I was able to stand. And my mother, of course, she helps me with everything. She's like always there overseeing everything. Like everything has to be, you know how my mother is, right? Don't do this, stop that, you know. So, you know, I kind of let her do her thing. But yeah, she's definitely those have been really the keys for my success.
That's the one thing I like about both of my guests today, the family involvement and commitment. That is so crucial and so cool. Talking about the funding, so what else do you do to help raise money for this program, to keep it going?
Well, I write for grants. I get personal grants and I get a county grant. And I also write to local businesses to contribute different things. Like I have a bakery, he contributes different snacks to it. Different stores will give me money and I'll use it to buy, you know, different things. I get school supplies. This year I got sponsors to give me like beauty products and also health information. I also asked for that because I've expanded it, not just dance, but also health, because that's important too.
And why is that important?
Well, you know, my uncle had some health issues and he passed away unfortunately last year, so it really put the emphasis, and he also was a really proponent of eating healthy, right? You always went to his house, he had fruit, He always ate healthy stuff. He always encouraged us to stay in shape. He walked a lot. So, you know, I kind of want to kind of keep his legacy alive by doing that.
How many classes do you hold? When? Where? How can people learn more? What types of dance?
Well, I have a annual dance festival every March. And then before that, I have weekly classes. I think I have like maybe between 7 and 10 weekly classes where they learn a dance. Usually it's hip hop because that's what kids like. So they learn a dance and they perform it that day. On the day of the event, I usually have a belly dance, hip hop, African. I try to vary it up. I want to teach them dance, but also I want them to know history of dance. Because a lot of students, especially, like most of my students tend to be African American, Latino, and I want them to know their history in dance. So I bring that element as well. I usually have a speaker on a health topic, because it's very important for us to remain healthy.
And they see the connection between that too as well. How many kids would you say take your classes?
I have anywhere between 5 and 10, and then at the festival, how many? You were there, like maybe 50 people are there or so. But not everybody dances for everything. Some people only like the belly dance. Some people only like the hip hop. Some people just want to hear the stuff. Some people just want to watch. So, you know, it's something for everyone there. Everything is free. It's open to the public. I put it on my website, and that's how they can find out.
So that's where they can get information about signing up if they want to.
Yes.
Where do you hold your classes?
I hold my classes in Fanwood. I hold them at the Forest Road Park, and people can find out on my website and contact me on via my email, and then they can, I'll let them know when the classes are.
You say at the park. Are these outdoors?
No. Okay. They have a building. No. They have a building, because sometimes in March when I have it, it could be raining, God forbid snowing, so we're indoors.
And it sounds like a lot of fun. How would you say being a good communicator, both oral and written, has helped you with your dance career? We see how it's helped you with your publishing career and getting grants.
Yeah, well, the thing of the matter is with the dance, we had to fund it. Like, I didn't want to just have a dance thing. I needed funding. How do you have the classes? I pay the instructors. I pay for the space. So I had to be able to write well and convey a message. And also, I would actually meet with the funder and say, you know, they want to meet you. Because if they're going to give you money or services or whatever and put their name behind you, they want to know who you are. So you have to have a good message. You have to be able to present yourself, you know, in person and on paper.
You have to sell yourself, exactly.
Yes.
Which is exactly what you do in your book, too. Tell me about the one you have published. I love the title.
What goes around comes around.
And what was the meaning behind that message?
It's a book about second chances. And, you know, people think that can be a negative thing because they say, you know, what goes around comes around, but it also is a positive thing. Because if you've done good in your life, that will come back to you as well. And my main character is has a second chance at love, her career. And then for the sequel, we just see how she kind of goes into her life more.
Yeah.
It's called Good
You're
Things
flushing
Come.
out the elements of her life now.
Yes. That's
Who
what we're
is
doing.
the character? Tell me about her. Is she based on you?
No, well, she's much more talented than me. Her name is Nicole, and she's a singer, and she's very shy, and she's kind of got over her stage fright. She got married young, it didn't work out. So now you have a chance to really do what you want to do. Like once that kind of broke apart, now her life's kind of coming back again. And my uncle was a really big proponent of reading too. He kind of like pushed me into finishing the book because I had written the book, but then didn't really do anything with it. He was like, no, you have to. He would sell my book. He was a vendor, right? He was a vendor.
Yeah.
And he'd be selling my book in the park. He really was like a great cheerleader for me.
He believed in you.
He just believed in, and he was, at his funeral, there were hundreds of people. I've never seen that at a funeral of a non-celebrity. Hundreds of people came, because he, not only me, he did that to everybody. He poured himself into people. Like my cousin, he would have you selling oils. My cousin can sell oils. He's a good businessman, right? And he did that as my cousin was young, right? And now he can do it now by himself. And it's like, my uncle was that type of a man. He just gave of himself, you know, just selflessly. He didn't want anything in return. He never promoted himself doing that, but he did it for a lot of people. We didn't know until the funeral, and all these people were like, oh, you know, Abdul did this. And we're like, he did? We didn't even know he did all these things.
Oh my God, that must have been so wonderful to hear that. So how do you want to keep his legacy alive and keep it going?
Well, what we did was this year we gave a scholarship in his name, and we're always, I made a poster of all his pictures of his family, and you know, so because people knew my uncle was just like, he'd be vending in the park, right, with his grandson. They'd both be in the park, but actually I wanted to show his family, so I made a big poster, which will always be displayed at every Why We Dance festival, and I'm hoping to keep the award going, so I have a GoFundMe page, because I want to, you know, I want to honor that, his community service. I want to like recognize.
And what is your GoFundMe page for people who want to help?
It's Why We Dance 10th anniversary. GoFund Why We Dance 10th anniversary.
And is there something you'd like to say about him as well? The kind of person.
He was fun. He didn't really like to like sit back or anything. We would go walking to the park or stuff, and we would go see movies.
And you miss him a lot?
Yeah.
So you want to help carry on his legacy too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you both very much for coming on to talk about this. And again, this is the Why We Dance program there in Union County. Candace Waller, Zahir Hendry, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up next, we have more family elements. I love the show today. Next, a small businessman in Middlesex County and his mama.